but I will tell you my story in English and hope that I get the message across well. I just want to begin, first of all, by thanking Vice President María Fernandez for having me. Thank you for hosting this amazing event. It's so nice to see women be empowered all over the world. It's truly inspiring. So I will just kind of tell you my personal journey and the product that I've created and the mission that we have. So I am a young mother. I have a 2-year-old son. He's actually almost 2.5 now. And a little bit about my background in education. I studied economics from a university in New York, Fordham University. I went on to get my master's in development economics. I always knew that I wanted to create social change. So right after I graduated, you know, I was a little bit stressed about becoming a new mom. I decided to take a job that I really didn't like very much, but that was in financial services. And I did that until 2 months after my son was born, at which point I looked at him and I said, I have to do something that I'm proud of, that I can pass on to my child. So it's funny that, you know, people bring up that maybe being a mother can be a weakness, you know, to a business, but in my case it has turned out to be a real asset, and I feel I've really taken a lot of strength from my role as a parent. So I started my company, which was an interesting way to start, when my son was 2 months old. For the first 18 months of the business, he was with me. So I went on meetings with officials, with businessmen, people from all walks of life with this baby on my head. And I'll tell you, it worked in my favor because, one, he was really cute. So people were much more likely to say yes and offer their help. And two, he gave me strength. He was my little companion, and I didn't feel quite so alone in this big world of business. So what I did 2 months after he was born, quit my job, went back, quit my job as a financial advisor, went back to bartending, which I had done all through college. And I sat and I thought, you know, what are my skills? What can I do? And I had a lot of knowledge about economics and development economics, and I had a lot of knowledge about people that went out in New York City and, you know, enjoyed the nightlife there. And I realized pretty quickly that there was a lot of money being spent, you know, in the hospitality industry, as is true, you know, across the board in cities across the world. Particularly in New York, you have people going out, you know, 5 to 7 nights a week. It's truly exceptional. So I decided I wanted to capture a piece of that revenue stream and use it to help people. And then I became increasingly aware of the hunger crisis that is happening in New York right now. And I thought, you know, I know business owners, they're probably not going to give me a percentage of their profits, not consistently anyway. So I thought, what can I do? And I was inspired by this program that Chase Bank has where you can round up, you know, your purchases into your savings account. And I thought, oh wow, this is great. You know, people are spending so much money on their restaurant bills. Nobody is going to care if I ask them to just round up their bill to the next dollar. Always 99 cents or less, and we can use that to support local hunger relief efforts. Then I started to do a little bit of math and partner with the right organizations, and I realized that it actually doesn't take that much to feed one person. So Food Bank for New York City, which is one of our partner organizations, feeds one New Yorker with 25 cents. So even a roundup on, you know, a bill of $20.75 can help to feed one person. Then I started to do the math on what would the greater impact be, and I realized that we can actually create a significant change just with this program of rounding up. So I started, very simply, I incorporated the company in May of 2013, and I, you know, got my website built, and it was out by October, and now we have an app, and I'll get to that, but we started with just a print campaign. It was literally little pieces of paper that I took to 6 restaurants that asked people, you know, when they were done with their meal, to simply round up their bill to support Food Bank for New York City. And what we saw, we ran that campaign for about 2.5 months in 6 restaurants, and what we saw was that people were overwhelmingly rounding up. So we raised a little over $1,000 in just 2.5 months, and these were small restaurants. They weren't big, they didn't have a big turnover. So I realized, okay, this model works. People are very willing to do this. But I wanted to really put the model in the hands of the people, and that's when I decided to create a technology and an app out of it. And that was an interesting journey because I am not technical in background. I am more the idea person, the economics person. So I spent a good 5 months working with a friend of mine to build the first version of our app, which wasn't that good. And then I spent the next 2 weeks after we launched our first version realizing that I needed to partner with a tech company. So what I did, and this has pretty much been my business approach from the beginning, is I Googled who the best was in the industry in New York, and then I stalked them until they agreed to meet with me. And I ended up partnering just this summer with a company called Fueled. They are a $30 million app design and development company based in New York, London, and Chicago. Their founder, who I stalked, actually came on to be our co-founder just this summer. So now he works very closely with us. And he ended up donating over $200,000 worth of resources to get this technology built, the one that we have right now. So yeah, I guess if I were to give any advice, it would be never be shy about who you're approaching, because amazing things can happen if you just ask the right questions. So how the model works right now, so it's still, you know, you're still able to round up your bill when you're going out, but now we partner with restaurants as well. So I've tried to create this win-win-win sort of situation where, you know, you go out to eat, you round up your bill, you help to feed somebody, but you also get rewarded for being, you know, a good person. So we work with restaurants in New York, and we have a set system of rewards. So I'll give you an example. It's consistent across all our partners. So if you round up 3 times in a month at the same partner location, you get a free cocktail. If you round up, you know, 5 times in a month at that same location, you get a free appetizer or dessert. So the consumer is getting something back, far more than what they've given. The restaurant is essentially engaged in a loyalty rewards program, and Food Bank is able to feed more people. So that's the model that we built right now, and it seems to be working quite well. Also very important, so this is like the heart of the entire concept. What we want to do is we want to inspire New York City to close its own meal gap. So a meal gap, as defined by, you know, Food Bank and our partner organizations, is the number of missing meals in New York. It's the number of meals that people need but don't have access to because there are no funds for them. So right now, there's 235 million missing meals throughout all the 5 boroughs in New York City each year. And we figured out that if we could inspire just 10% of New Yorkers to round up for a total of $6 a month each, we could close that gap in 1 single year, which is pretty impactful and pretty amazing, and it has virtually no impact on the individual. For me, this is exciting because it's a community able to come together for a common goal. So in our app, the first page is the impact page. You're able to see how much you've given individually, you're able to see your monthly activity, and you're able to watch the meal gap closing in real time as other people donate. So just imagine the perspective shift that might happen in a community once a common goal like that has been achieved. And just in terms of the vision for the model, it's always been about going abroad. It's always been about plugging into cities that have booming hospitality industries and that are surrounded by poverty. So just plugging into that system, allowing not only the community members to start to recycle some of their money and put it back into the community in a very easy and effective way, but also allowing people that are coming to visit from other countries, that are enjoying the tourism and the hospitality, that are enjoying the country, to reinvest a little bit of that experience into the community as well and create some change. And I think that's exciting for everybody involved. So that's pretty much my story. I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything like that. No questions.
Al principio, cuando no tenías el app, at the beginning, when you didn't have the app, how did the restaurants give you the money to give it to the people in here?
Sure, okay. I'll explain. I'll actually explain how it works now too, because I think I skipped over that. So when we first started before the app, we had patrons rounding up on the receipt. So they would fill in, you know, you add your tip, and then you add your spare change. They would account for it in their point of sale system as a separate item, and then at the end of the month, they would count that item and report to us. They would give us the money, and then we partner with our beneficiary organizations. We have contracts with them. We deliver donations to them quarterly. So we collect them and then we send them over. Now, how it works, we're actually moving to a frictionless model. So we're working with a payments processor to automate roundups. So what you can do is you'll soon be able to do, is scan any major debit or credit card into the app, give the app permission to round up on all food purchases up to a certain dollar amount. So say you're comfortable giving $10 a month off of your food roundups. And that is a one-time choice. You opt in, and then we get to capture donations in a running stream, which really could also have a major impact on the model. So you don't no longer have to take out your phone every single time. So that's, and within, we have 4 beneficiaries right now. Users can pick who they want to support. We track that on the back end, and then we distribute the money to them. Yes. Oh, I would love to. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's a really intuitive fit because you guys have such a beautiful country. You have such a strong tourism and hospitality industry. I think I don't see why people wouldn't want to participate in a program that could help the community while they're here. I think it's a really easy fit. So I'm open. Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I was wondering, since the launch of the app, what's been the impact, the numbers?
Sure. So we launched in a conference in Las Vegas in November of last year. We really started rolling out in New York this year. So we've provided almost 3,000 meals so far, just through, but we haven't really pushed out marketing-wise because we were waiting for that payments piece to come in, which I think makes a big difference. So the next couple of months should be very exciting. You guys have a beautiful school, by the way. This is great. Much nicer than the school I went to.
The good news that you are going to be working with us last president and also your private, and hopefully we will get you up here.
Yes. Amazing.
And also work with food bank that we are working on that. So we will open that direction since today that you are here, and we will be coordinating with you. So that's the good news.
Oh.
For the public audience and the Dominican public.
Thank you so much for saying that, and for the opportunity.